Today I fucked up my sister's marriage over a cup of tea. Today I TIFU big time. So I live in India, and here things are pretty strict when it comes to marriage and stuff. Especially arranged marriages. They basically depend on the first look of the girl and the cup of tea and snacks that the girl presents to the boy and his parents, and whether they like it or not. That is like the very first condition for a successful arranged marriage. I know it's silly lol. My parents are stubborn to get my sister into an arranged wedding and she is really not happy at all about it. Shh, don't tell anyone. Anyways, after months of searching for the right boy, my parents arranged a meeting with the boy's parents. Would like to not give the real name, but let's call him K. My sister and K met a few days back on a date-like situation, so she knew him a little. So, today K came with his parents to our house for the meeting of parents and the boy-girl themselves and decide the final state of the wedding. They were welcomed heartily and greeted us back with happy looks on their faces. They sat and started to talk with my parents. I went to my sister's room to check on her. She was looking absolutely stunning and I was really happy that this might just be the day for her. Marriages are, after all, really special for girls and I absolutely respect that. Okay, getting back to my story, she told me that she needed just a few extra minutes to get ready and that she needed me in the kitchen to help her. So I went to the kitchen after 15 minutes and saw that she was busy in arranging cups and plates to serve food to our guests. Meanwhile, she told me to make the tea since I am, like, the best tea maker in my house. Well, anyways, I made the tea and we took it outside. We served everything and started talking about our jobs and stuff. I was the first to take a sip of that tea. As soon as he drank it, he made a really bad face which worried me. He started saying how the tea had too much sugar and his father and mom had a diabetes problem. He was lying, obviously, so his dad took a sip as Kay looked at me with a cautious expression. I fucked up in the worst way possible. I had just put salt instead of sugar in the tea and the whole situation got out of hand. Kay's dad took it as a really big insult and stormed off asking everyone who was with him to go out in the car immediately. Oh my god, I realized, I literally fucked my sister's whole marriage over a cup of tea. Fuck. I just couldn't believe it. Just one day, the most important day of her life, she told me to make tea and I couldn't even do that. I'm really sad and hate myself for the situation. TLDR, I put salt in my sister's future fiance's tea and all of his family's, which has led to a real fuck up in the marriage situation. BW them. Sounds like a terrible situation. You had deflected a metaphorical bullet for your sister. Hard to believe. This is by far the funniest comment lol, smiley face, smiley face. TBH, I think you saved her. Fuck those marriages. Considering you said yourself that your sister wasn't happy about having an arranged marriage, you've done her a massive favor. That is correct. She hates arranged marriages, but the guy Lau tried to save me even without knowing me, so I'm kinda respecting him for doing that. Today I fucked up by giving myself a pedicure every night. This has been going on for a couple of weeks now, and finally came to a head last night. I, 27F, am 8 months pregnant, and the weight I've put on and not being able to reach my feet means they were looking pretty gross, dried and cracked and yucky. I decided the best way to solve this issue was to get one of those electric callus removers, so I bought one off of Amazon and have been using it nightly after my shower for about 2 weeks now. As I mentioned, I'm 8 months pregnant, so getting my foot up to where I can reach it is a bit of a feat. There is some involuntary panting and gasping, as well as the occasional grunt and moan. Last night, my poor husband, 30 meters, started getting grabby and it was very clear what he was going for. I told him I wasn't in the mood. I'm just so big and hot and not feeling sexy at all. What? I was totally caught off guard, and he seemed so hurt. I asked him what in the world he was talking about. He said every night after I shower he hears me in the bathroom, a very clear motorized sound, as well as panting and moaning. I wasn't even trying to be discreet. I started cracking up. I went into the bathroom and grabbed my callus remover and turned it on. I asked if this is what he heard, and he said yes. I explained what it was. I could see he was trying to see how this was a sex toy, and that getting my foot within arm's reach produced some pretty strange sounds. Luckily, he thought it was just as funny as I did and was very relieved that he wasn't getting kicked to the curb for a machine. So my libido remains non-existent, but my feet have improved vastly. Too long didn't read. I've been using an electric callus remover on my feet every night and my husband thought it was a vibrator. Okay, but is your husband going to start helping you with your feet? This is hilarious. I'm also 8 months pregnant, so I feel you and my feet probably need a good seeing to. Haha. In all seriousness though, hormones are weird, especially when pregnant. If you didn't want to be intimate with him but did want a release, he shouldn't be fighting you on it. Agreed. I think he would understand if I explained to him, but he was hurt that I would say I don't have any sex drive when he thought I was so clearly giving myself the business. It took him over 2 weeks to say anything, so it wasn't that big of a deal to him originally. I think the fuck up is more on his part than yours, haha. Today I fucked up by giving my phone to dad and not being in the same room. Before you ask, my parents give me, 18M, a reasonable amount of freedom and privacy. I only recently got my own phone cause parents think it's detrimental when given too early, and I agree. I'm pretty sure they know I fap once in a while. I had this habit since a long time ago to save the best shit I find in what is essentially the homework folder for when the network is bad or I just feel like looking at that stuff again. But I'm really paranoid when it comes to this and hide the folder impressively well if I do say so myself. On Android, renaming any folder starting with a dot will essentially hide it. So I put all my stuff in a really remote subfolder and hide it. Both my parents know my password, and since I'm sure they won't find the goods, I never really cared. My dad decided to go through a detox and started using his phone only to make calls and messages. His employees usually send him some important stuff on WhatsApp and my dad gave my contact information. Whenever they need to send him something, they send it to me. This shit's been going on for a while now, so I just give the phone and mind my own business for a little bit since I know it will take some time. The main reason my dad's going through the detox is because he's addicted to WhatsApp and uses it way too much, and I happen to be in all the family groups that he uses a lot. I know that once he's done intercepting whatever his employees send, he just heads over to those groups to catch up. I even called him out for this, but hey, he just denies my accusations. Today while I was in the process of beating my meat, the Wi-Fi felt slow AF. Turns out my dumbass brother was updating Fortnite. Somebody KM. This was exactly what I was waiting for, and I sped towards the holy folder, and to my surprise, I went into panic mode and did some research. Apparently the parent folder was modified yesterday at around the time I gave my dad my phone. So I put 2 and 2 together and realized my dad found the goods and proceeded to delete them. At this point, I was more curious than mortified. Turns out Google's Photos app logs the photos once you open them, even when hidden. Anyways, 6 gigabytes of pure goodness. You will be missed. P.S. Before I get to those rookie numbers, the phone's really new, and I'm OMW to secure the other goods I have on my laptop. Too long didn't read. Dad deleted my homework folder. Ha, yep. I know about the dot thing, as Android originated as a modified Linux, and I anticipated what happened, smiley face. For future reference, you also want to put an empty file named no media in there, that tells the indexer to not scan the folder. Thank you, kind sir. Knew the thing is from a Linux but never knew what all those no media files were. Homework folder has a bad history. Bro, get an app disguised as a calculator or something to hide them. Replace MP4 with app no one will ever know. Degrees. Hey, you can set up a Raspberry Pi mini computer with kind of a self-hosted porn site. Then you can go on there from your phone in an incognito browser session. Exactly what I do, but I just run it off of my actual computer. r/jellyfin.